Alright guys, this is the front split stretching program. So in the app, each of the stretch times is listed down. First stretch you're going to do is Plantar Fascia Stretch. So that's to stretch out the sole of the foot. You're going to sit down, kneeling down with your toes tucked under. You're going to hold this stretch for about 2 minutes. To make it more difficult, if you find this easy, simply lean back. It's a good idea to have a couch behind you, or something like that, just to support yourself so you don't fall over. After this, we're going to go into a Tibialis stretch. Tibialis is the muscle at the front of the shin. It's the same position, but what you're going to do is you're going to put a pillow or a towel under your foot, something to support and give a little bit of elevation so you get a bit more stretch in the tibialis down here. Exact same way to make it harder, you can lean back. Yoga blocks are a really useful tool for this stretch. Now from here, we're going to go into the Piriformis Stretch or the 90-90 hip stretch. So for the 90-90 hip stretch, what you're going to do, bum on the ground, one leg forward at 90 degrees and the other leg forward at 90 degrees. So we're going to get those angles just right. We're going to force this knee down onto the ground. You're going to lean forward, keeping an arch in your back. Your goal is to go down as forward as far as possible. You should feel this in the glutes and the hip complex. This one you're going to hold for 2 minutes. After this, we're going to stand up. Each side, we're going to stand up and do the standing calf stretch. So for the standing calf stretch, you're going to need a step. Simply put your foot on the step, lock out your knee, and then think of pushing your hips forward, trying to keep your torso like that. It's going to be quite a severe stretch. This one you're going to hold for 2 minutes as well. In a lot of the knee programs, the knee flexibility programs, we're actually doing this for 3 sets of 90 seconds. Once you've done both sides in this one, we're going to go into the kneeling calf stretch. So for the kneeling calf stretch, you're going to kind of squat down a little bit and tuck one leg behind. This is the stretch out the soleus, which is the smaller calf muscle which goes right into your gastroc. It goes right into your Achilles, pardon me. So from here, we come forward, we lean, we can put the weight of the torso onto our knee, go as far forward as you can, with the knee over the second toe, as long as your heel stays down on the ground. If your heel starts coming off, that's when you're starting to lose the stretch there and you've hit the end of your range of motion. For this stretch, you're going to hold this for 90 seconds each side. Now we've done all the lower body, we're going to lower the limb, we're going to go into the hamstrings, into what's called an elephant walk. So for this exercise, you're going to stand up, feet together, you're going to bend over, knees soft, similar to a Romanian deadlift position. So bending forward, hand and leg, and from here, you're going to straighten out one leg at a time, squeezing the quad, come back. Stretch out one leg at a time, squeezing the quad, try and hyperextend the knee, try and keep a real arch in the back there to get a good stretch behind the back, and swap sides. So this one you're only going to hold each stretch for about 1 to 3 seconds. It's going to really stretch out the hamstring as much as possible. Now from there, we're going to go into the hamstring stretch. So this is another dynamic stretch that we're going to go into where you have to control the movement of your foot to get more of a stretch. So for this one, just lay on your back. You're going to bend one knee, just so you keep our lower back flexing to the ground. The other leg, you're going to grab back behind the back of the knee. So this one, it's a 4-part stretch. We're going to do this movement dynamically for 90 seconds, and then we'll go on to the other side. So it's point the toe, lift the leg, you get a good stretch back here, flex the toe, bend the knee. Point, lift, flex, bend the knee. And you're going to go through that kind of pattern, so one more, for 90 seconds each side. This is really going to stretch out the back of the knee. Cool. And relax. Once we've done that for 90 seconds each side, we're going to go into the quad stretch using a couch or a chair to stretch out the hip flexors and the quadricep muscle. So this one you all would have done at the gym before. You've probably done this before. Bring the other leg up into a lunge. To make the stretch a bit more effective, tuck the hip under, lean back if you want. Some people feel a little bit more leaning forward. Generally what happens, if you stretch your hip flexors a bit tighter, going back will increase the stretch more. If your quad's a bit tighter, going forward. Okay? Now, once we've done all the passive stretches there, we now need to start looking at more of the strength type stretches that we have. So we're going to develop strength in the range of motion. So for here, we're going to start off with the seated pike lift. So seated pike lift is sitting down. This is also a really hard abdominal workout. So from here, you're going to flex your abs, lean forward, point your toes, and lift up your feet for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. To make the exercise really, really hard, probably not going to be able to do it here. Really lean far forward. Now lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is going to put a massive strain on the abdominals and also the hip flexors. From there, we're now going to go into hip extension upright. So we're going to start training out length in the hip flexors. So I'll get you to go into a lunge position, a kneeling lunge. Bit longer stride there. This one, you're going to tuck your hip under, ribs down, and now just stand up off the ground just a little bit for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ideally in this one, probably flex your toe a little bit, so get your toes underneath, like with a normal lunge. That's it. And now push up again. Just a little bit lower. There's the ideal stretch. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a fairly, and drop down. It's a fairly nasty stretch in the hip flexors, but it'll build up strength where you need it to be able to get your front split. The next one is our hands-free pike. So we're going to sit down in the same position that we did before at the seated pike lift. Legs locked out, hands like I dream a genie. And then from here, you're going to flex the torso forward as far as you can. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're going to actively pull yourself down into the pike, elbows up, keep going. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. So you're going to do that for about 5 repetitions. The next exercise is a standing hamstring lift. So we're going to stand up, foot on the couch. This one's the best. This one's really hard, and as you get more flexible, you can actually put up in a higher chair. So if you're going to stand, lock the back knee out, point the toe, and you're going to lift that leg up just using the strength of your hip flexor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. As you get more flexible, you can go onto an object higher, and then try and lift up from there. It's a lot more of an active demand on the hamstrings and also the strength of the quads. Now, final 2 stretches we got are Jefferson curls and long lunge. So for the Jefferson curl, we're going to stand on a step. If you have weights, use weight, and we're going to have a 5-second hold at the end. If you don't have weights, we're going to actively push down into the Jefferson curl. So to do Jefferson curl, we roll, 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 roll. Keep the knees locked out. And we're going to try and push into the ground, or push our cat into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Rolling back up and through the spine. Okay, you're going to keep the knee locked out. Going to roll down again. Reach down, reach down, reach down. Knees locked out, knees locked out, knees locked out. Push into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now the last exercise in the split program is the long lunge isometric hold. So, get very comfortable here. So get into a long lunge. A bit longer if you can. It's good doing this in socks, and hold a little bit lower, push the legs out. For this one, when you're doing it, you're going to try and push the back knee out straight, so push that heel back, and you'll eventually bring the legs out. For support, you can use something to kneel on, so if you want to put your weight onto my leg, you can. If you've got yoga blocks or a chair, you can use that as well. The goal is to accumulate 90 seconds. Holding it for 90 seconds straight is very, very challenging. After doing this for a few weeks,